This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 479, How to Invest in Speculative Investments like Bitcoin Without Losing Your Shirt. Part 1, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And I am Dan, your host. Happy Thursday, and thank you as always for being here. This is where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And a big thank you to Four Sigmatic for sponsoring today's episode. Now, Four Sigmatic makes drinking mushrooms and superfoods delicious and easy to do with their mushroom coffees, mushroom superfood blends, and mushroom elixirs. Get 15% off with our special code FINANCE and visit foursigmatic.com/finance. That's FOURSIGMATIC.com/finance. Today's post is a little bit longer, and as I like to do for you, I'm going to break that up into two parts. So we'll hear the first half today, and then the rest tomorrow. And just a heads up, it does get a little bit technical, and if it's overwhelming for you, stick with it, because he does a good job of boiling it down to the basics. So let's keep this intro nice and short for you, and get right to it as we optimize your life. How to Invest in Speculative Investments like Bitcoin Without Losing Your Shirt. Part 1, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. In late 1999, I had my Bitcoin moment. I was a 22-year-old first-year analyst working on the international trading floor at a major investment bank. The internet boom was peaking, and I had just gotten my year-end stub bonus of $20,000. Although the $20,000 magically turned into $12,000 after paying New York City taxes, for the first time in my life, I no longer felt poor. I took $3,000 of my bonus proceeds and invested in a company called Vertical Computer Systems Incorporated, VCSY. I didn't know much about it. All I remember was that it was a China internet play with a telephone dial pad as its homepage. I was on the emerging markets team and spent all my time looking at Asian and Eastern European companies. Surely VCSY was going to be the next Yahoo! In a couple weeks, VCSY went from around $3 to $6, did an inexplicable 20-for-1 stock split, and then went up to around $9. In other words, within 6 months, it went from $3 to $180 pre-split, and I had 1,000 shares. The stock's 6,000% move was ridiculous as everybody I knew on the street started piling into the name. I eventually got out of the stock at around $156 a share, netting a cool $153,000. Realizing VCSY was 95% luck and 5% being in the right place at the right time, I sat on the cash for a couple of years, watching the NASDAQ implode before finally getting the guts to use all my after-tax proceeds to buy a $580,000 condo in San Francisco with a $464,000 mortgage in 2003. In retrospect, I should have kept hunting for new VCSYs every year. However, while my wealth continued to grow, I was too afraid to lose even small amounts of money. The dot-com crash had scarred my investing psyche because I personally knew many people who lost both their jobs and their paper fortunes. The subsequent housing bubble crash was even more devastating because so many more people were affected. If only there was a system I could follow that would give me the confidence to consistently swing for the fences without losing my shirt. Investing in speculative investments without losing everything. We know we can get rich by gaining maximum exposure to risk assets in a bull market. We also know we can get rich by building a business where we own all the equity. The downside with leveraging up to buy property and stocks or forsaking a steady paycheck to start a company is the potential to lose a lot of money and time. What if there was a way to strike it rich without taking any risk? I never really thought about this possibility until a reader brought it up. Previously, I've always just allocated between 5 and 10% of my investable assets and swung for the fences. Here's what Dunn at 53 wrote to another reader who is worried about current market valuations. Quote, "Start going to cash. Find a long-term CD that pays 2.5% or toss money into savings bonds. With the proceeds, buy S&P 500 options. With $100K, you can use the $2,500 to $4,000 interest, depending on your risk-free choice, to purchase December 2018 265 options for $1,400 each. 2 will cost you $2,800, and you'll have a 53% participation ratio. Buy a third for a total of $4,200, and sell 2 December 2018 295s for $200 credit each. You'll have a 78% participation ratio up to $295, 11%, and 26% participation ratio above that, and it will cost you $3,800 of your interest. If the market tanks, you lost the interest on your money and very little of, if any of, the principal. If Mr. Market keeps going up, You get a nice percentage of the gain designed at your comfort level with almost none of the risk." End quote. Understanding the options jargon is less important than understanding this concept. With your risk-free investment income, invest in the most speculative investments that have the potential to give you the highest returns. Even if you lose your entire investment, you will never go to the poorhouse because you will never lose principal. Examples of speculative investments. 1. Dunn at 53 discusses buying out-of-the-money options that provide higher returns on a specific stock or index versus buying the actual stock or index. The downside is that if your options expire out of the money, they're worthless. 2. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are the hottest speculative investments at the moment and finally attracting mainstream capital. Bitcoin could easily collapse by 80% next week, but it could also continue to go up multiple times because of a surge in liquidity and worldwide adoption. You can buy your slice of Bitcoin on an exchange like Coinbase.com. 3. Internet and tech stocks in emerging markets. Buying the Googles, Facebooks, Ubers, Apples of XYZ emerging markets is a straightforward investment thesis. Buying the next Yahoo of China was my investment thesis in 1999 when I bought VCSY. I continued this thought process in 2013 when I wrote, "Should I buy Chinese stocks?" Sina, Baidu, and Renren have all done really well since. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled "How to Invest in Speculative Investments Like Bitcoin Without Losing Your Shirt" by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And a big thank you again to Four Sigmatic for sponsoring this episode. Four Sigmatic makes mushroom coffees, mushroom superfood blends, and mushroom elixirs, a really easy and tasty way to get the health benefits of different kinds of mushrooms. Beyond the portobello, an entire kingdom of mushrooms exists, with many being shown to have amazing health benefits for immunity, energy, and longevity. And for a lot of people, the problem with coffee is that it's super acidic, which might mess with your stomach, or it's too much caffeine, so you get the jitters. Four Sigmatic solves both of these. There's less caffeine and it's less acidic. Plus, you get the added benefit of the mushrooms, all in a quick and easy-to-consume drink. They have different mushroom drinks for different benefits, and not only coffee, but hot cacao. Check out their different options, and we got a special deal. You can get 15% off your order by using our code, FINANCE, and the link is foursigmatic.com/finance. That's FOURSIGMATIC.com/finance, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. That's going to do it for episode 479. I will be back in the Friday show tomorrow to finish up this post, so I'll see you there, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.